I got a question for you. Do you find yourself struggling to come up with new content ideas for your social media? If so, you're certainly not alone based on everything I see out there. Because I'm constantly seeing people kind of using the same stuff over and over and over again. And when you're doing that same stuff over and over and over again, it kind of starts to repel folks instead of drawing them to you. Think about that the next time you're scrolling through your social media feed. If you can relate at all to what I'm just talking about, this video is for you. I'm going to share with you everything you need to be able to not just create new and different messages on social media, but more importantly, have a structure. And with that structure, you're going to tick all the boxes you need to make social media a 24/7 customer generating sales machine for you. I'm going to share with you 5 separate different concepts, and you can mix and match them. What I'm thinking about is if you post 5 or 6 days a week, you can consistently have this new content, new different messages, new different levers that you're pulling that will help folks learn more about your business, but more importantly, get really excited about it and draw the conclusion of, gosh, you know what? I've got to go there and check this out. This is the same type of concepting that I created for years and years doing direct mail for myself and my customers. What's really exciting is I had clients who told me people would just come in and go, I had to come in, check out what you're offering. And at the end of the day, isn't that what you want your social media posts to do? You might be using 1, 2, or 3 of these, but I'm pretty sure by the time we get to the 5th one, you're going to be really surprised. Let's dive into things. First concept I want to talk about is your story. What is your story? Why did you create this brewery? Why are you in business? What motivated you? And tell both the good and the bad of this process from when you began right up to today. Share with folks. Be real with them. Don't hold back and be very transparent. Don't try and act and produce. Just go with the reasons that got you to where you are. And you can insert this into all your different posts to some degree, but you should have separate posts that talk about your stories. Now, before you kind of at me about it, listen, you live and breathe your social media posts. The rest of the world, not so much. So don't feel like, gosh, I've kind of told this story over and over again. You, of course, want to put different wrinkles in it, add parts, subtract parts, but your story will always resonate with your audience. The next content concept I want to talk about is hype videos. You want to produce these and put them out ahead of events, ahead of introduction of new products, ahead of anything new and different that's happening at your brewery. You want to give folks a heads up on what's happening. These are very informative. So in these posts, you want to have the who, what, where, when, and why. So people understand what's happening, where it's going to happen, and why they should attend. I can't tell you how often I see breweries fail at this. I'm always wondering something like, where are they located? What does that actually mean? What's actually going to be happening? Tell the whole story in that social media post. Give people that who, what, where, when, and why, and that post will be successful. Now let's talk about product introduction posts. These should be very straightforward. I love it when I see kind of the brewer themselves talking about why they created this specific beer that they're now releasing. But it doesn't always have to be that way. I would mix things up a bit. I'd have one day ahead of it, that be the post. Then another one where you're kind of cute and funny about it. There's a lot of different ways you can introduce people to the product, but that should be something that's regularly done. Another factor to keep in mind, not everybody knows everything you brew. So you may have produced that beer 4 weeks ago. Still introduces to folks. Somebody may not have seen any of your posts. You may be brand new to them. So lean into that. Let them know what you have and give them a good and concrete reason to come visit and give it a try. That'll produce more sales. Now let's talk about virtual visits. There's a couple of different types. One is just kind of if you've got maybe a brew pub, also behind the scenes, just have cameras rolling and give people a sense of what's actually happening. If it's in the brew pub, ideally, I love to see folks having a good time in there, but there are times and reasons where maybe you're going to do it without anybody, but both work. Other situation for virtual visit posts are tied to after any kind of events, and these can even be micro events. After events, let people know what they kind of missed. Now, speaking of events, that's something that I've always talked about being important. And I've actually created for you a calendar for the entire year of little micro events you could have. Everybody knows about the big events, 4th of July or something like that, but also little tiny things like Crazy Sock Day, Lager Day. Go ahead right now and put events down there in the comment, and I'll send you that calendar in a PDF form so you can maybe find a couple of new ones to try. Because here's the thing, you've got to give folks a different reason to come than just beer. And micro events are a super easy way to do it. And by micro events, I mean not a whole lot of effort, mostly just letting folks know you're actually doing something. Now, the fifth one, and like I promised, I'm pretty sure you're not doing this. And here's the thing, it will be super effective if you introduce it. And I call it the why you shouldn't visit us. It's kind of a spin on all the other categories. For instance, you could have fun with it. You could hold up a Coors Light and say, if you want kind of the bland and ordinary beer, you don't want to come drink at our place. You can do another thing, so to speak, of having, if you got, let's say, food and beer. If you don't want a menu of outstanding food that's been tailored to coordinate with some of the best beer brewed in the area, we're not the place you want to visit. So you see, there's a little bit of a tongue-in-cheek element to it, but what you're kind of doing is putting that spin on, and you can really help hold people's attention if you open up the social media post by saying, you know why I don't think you should come visit us? Folks aren't going to scroll away there. But it's a great way to put a spin on all your other elements and reinforce everything that you do. So if we have those 5 bedrock concepts to build your social media, can you see how you can now start to put a calendar together? Then, of course, you're going to have different events and promotions and different product introductions. You can now easily fill up your calendar with social media posts that do more than just show kind of cans coming down the line or, some trending sound or trending piece of video. I'm not saying any of those are necessarily wrong, but do more. Look different than everybody else. And once you do that, you're going to see that your social media posts will get more views, more engagement, and you'll see more people coming into your brewery. And at the end of the day, isn't that why you're doing all this to begin with? Now, there's one other piece that really belongs in this puzzle that I want to talk about now, and that's having a strong, dialed-in brand. It's essential to make all these different pieces work together. So rather than every social media post being a one-off, the brand kind of holds everything together. It lets people instantly know who you are. And each social media post, while different, and that's important, have a core similarity. And if you're having a little trouble kind of grasping what I'm talking about, I've got this video right here. I want to watch it. It's all about your branding. And to be honest with you, if you don't feel like you've got your branding tied in where you can say in 1 or 2 sentences who you are as a brewery, you really need to watch that video. So I'll see you over there.